7 takeaways all men can get from the importance of the situation with DDG and Ali. Now I'm sure you all know what's going on with these two. The video that went viral last night, DDG on stream talking about how Ali doesn't let him see his kid, about how, he made these choices and now there are very real consequences to them. But are these just? We see a lot of men end up in this situation, trouble with their baby mamas, and what can you really do about that? It's something every man goes through. But we all thought that DDG made the right choice. A year ago, we probably would have been saying, oh, he got Hallie, he's good. He seemed really optimistic. And I think we were really optimistic for him as well, but we see how this turned out. So it's sad to say that for 7 out of 10 men, this could be the reality, bro. Stuck with a baby mom that you hate, one that you don't get along with, dangling your kid over your head like some kind of toy. So here's 7 lessons that we can take away from this. We can see where he went wrong, and then we can see where we don't make this mistake next. Stick around. The first little bit of wisdom that I'm gonna impart on you guys is the importance of your strategic relationship choices. Now, they shouldn't be strategic. You shouldn't, plot on a bitch, but who you choose is very, 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 very important. Because if you end up with the wrong one, then you're fucked. Then you end up like this. Men and women think very differently. I feel like, actually give this to women. They are more strategic with who they're picking. I think that more often than not, men are prone to look purely at the physical first. Like, okay, what does her body look like? What is her face looking like? And I do think we put a little bit too much emphasis on ass in the past decade, but like, y'all get what I'm saying. While women are more strategic with who they're picked, they're factoring in, income, temperament, fatherability, stuff like that. The first thing we can do is be more strategic. I say it all the time. What if you end up fucking someone who's crazy? The first time you link, that's why you can't be fast. That's why you can't just be, slinging everybody that asks for it. If you link with somebody and the first time you get her pregnant, bro, you know nothing about her, and she don't want to keep it because it's her choice, like, you're fucked for real. It's bad all the way. You need to pay attention to who she is. More often than not, people will show you who they are, and you need to believe them. Now, I'm not saying judge a book by its cover, because that's definitely not true. People can be completely different from how you perceive them, but once you have perceived them, and once you've let them into your space, if they show you, like in tough situations or it's something constant, you see that this is something that is part of their character. If they show you something that's a red flag, and you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, you owe it to yourself in the future, and you really also owe it to them to, kind of ask them, like, what's this about? Really, really, really question them if it's someone you really care about. You don't want to like drop them off immediately unless it's like a glaring red flag. Like, she's like doing voodoo dolls on you. If anyone's doing voodoo on you, you need to cut them off immediately because that's crazy. But yeah, when someone shows you who they are in a tough situation, you need to believe them. And that is also part of, the strategic relationship choices. And now we're going to move on to number 2. Number 2, you need to set your boundaries clearly and communicate clearly as well. With this communication, there's clearly some kind of lack of communication, because we saw it a couple months ago. Y'all remember on that stream, he was with Kai Cenat and he had Halo, and Hallie started tweeting out, I'm out the country, like, where's my son, this and that. Like, clearly there was a lapse of communication there. And even them, like, communicating with us, their relationship, not that they're inclined to at all, like, keep your business private, but for the longest time, people thought they were together. So, they obviously had to move that way when they were on screen. And that could definitely fall into boundaries. But yeah, communicate clearly. Make sure that, you as a man are stating what you want. You don't have to be deceitful, Deceit rarely gets you anywhere in the long term. If you're lying about something, you're gonna get found out. Like, women are not as, unintelligent as some men tend to think that they are. So communicate clearly, be upfront, be stern, and keep your frame. You don't want to send mixed messages. You don't want to beat around the bush, because then you're wasting her time. You're giving her the wrong impression. She's gonna start building off wrong things, and you're wasting your time as well, because if it's not gonna work out for you 9 times out of 10. So why even waste your time initially lying or being deceitful or intentionally leaving things out? I would say you also early on need to hit at least a couple of these topics. You know, and when I say early on, I mean like maybe a month or two in. Obviously, you don't need that super serious conversation, but you also don't want to, you know, tread too lightly. You want to make sure that all these topics are covered. Okay, you want to establish clear boundaries early on. You want to talk about your values, your parenting styles, like how you want to parent kids, if you even want to have kids, your life goals, and just generally what your plans are. These are all 5 things that you would really want to vet with someone before, you know, you got in a relationship with them. Because if you're incompatible with any of these 5, I feel like then it's almost wraps. Like it's never gonna work in the first place. So don't even try. Third is building self-sufficiency and independence. Obviously, these 2 are both rich, but you know, rich comes in different shades. I think the narrative was that maybe Hallie had, you know, was richer than DDG, and DDG was like moving up on the totem pole, and Hallie was moving down. Personally, from my perspective, like I know DDG way more than I know Hallie. Like from an internet perspective, like I don't really even know them at all. But yeah, build self-sufficiency and independence. You need to have your own shit. You need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You shouldn't be depending on a woman for anything. No one should really depend on anyone for anything. Like the most accountable person in your life is going to be yourself. So definitely that is something we can learn. We didn't really see him leaning on her too much, and you know, but they were spending, you know, it looked like a lot of time together. Third, you need to protect yourself legally and emotionally. Once you get into a situation like this with somebody, once, you know, even from the jump, once you are kissing with somebody, you guys get close to each other, you, to some level, should still be protecting yourself. You don't want to be too vulnerable too quickly. That's never a good thing. First of all, I think that can be a little bit of a turnoff if you're so quick to expose yourself, you know, to be vulnerable to someone. You should not be so quick to give yourself up, you know, hold some things back, be a little bit mysterious. You know, if you know everything about someone within the first year of meeting them, you know, if you intend to stay together for a long time, there's still 99 more years you have to, you know, contend with. So I would definitely say slow down on being so vulnerable. And I think that's a pretty good way of protecting yourself. But yeah, not just physically, legally too, bro. Once you get in a situation like this, co-parenting, I think, is probably pretty difficult. I'm not a parent. I've never parented anything, so I definitely haven't co-parented anything. But you know, I'm pretty sure the courts pretty heavily favor women, so you definitely want to make sure you're choosing the right one, like every single time. And you want to make sure you have the proper protections in place as well, because when shit like this happens, you know, more likely than not, as the man, you're going to be the one who is at a disadvantage. You also need to build some really strong emotional resilience because, you know, your baby mom's gonna pick at you. And like for DDG to have even gone live on his stream to say what he said, there must have been a tipping point somewhere where he just felt that, okay, I'm texting you, this isn't working anymore. Someone must know, I must bring this to the public. So, I mean, building up some emotional resilience probably would have helped him in this case. I'm sure he has plenty, but you know, it's his first baby, it's his first baby mom, so this could be his first crash out of many. Number 4, y'all be too quick to rush into parenthood, bruh. I mean, and I guess this isn't wholly the men's fault, but it also is because, you know, every time you fuck somebody, there is always the chance you could be having a baby with them, which is why I always say, be selective with who you pick. You'd be like, nigga, you say that 10 times a video, bro. No. Be selective, bro, because if you pick the wrong one, and there's really no way of telling what a woman will be like as a mother, but there are definitely signs. There are definitely signs, you know what I'm saying? And that's why that's why you can end up like hating your baby mama so bad that, you know, some niggas would end up killing them, because like, okay, you had a baby, you made this lifelong bond with someone you weren't really even that compatible with in the first place. Like, pure stupid, bro. Me personally, I would never kill a bitch. It's not worth it. Like, what? Life for life, bro. You take their life, your life is gone. Also, if I kill someone, I don't think I'd be able to sleep at night. I would feel simply terrible. But niggas do get to that point, like with their baby moms. When someone's murdered, bro, the first people they check, the closest ones to them, bro, significant others. Because when you're spending all day with somebody, like, you know, niggas snap. Maybe I just watch too much true crime, but yeah, it's very easy to grow into, you know, hating that person. It's a thin line between love and hate, you know what they say. and this could also lead to complications down the line. Because I mean, I think maybe at some level, the man at least could grow to resent the woman if he didn't want to keep it and she did, and she had it anyway, and she put that nigga on child support. I mean, that's not a reason to hate somebody, but that's definitely gonna lead to like beef. Like 9 times out of 10, putting somebody on child support, bruh, that's gonna make them hate them, bruh. So, definitely do not rush into parenthood. Because I mean, if it goes well, you stay with a girl. All right, cool, you got a kid. That's its own beast. But if it doesn't, you have a kid, and then you got all this extra other shit on top. You know, like what is the niggas she's bringing around the kids doing? Like, what is she doing to my kid when I'm not around? Stuff like that. So definitely don't rush into it, bro. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're mentally prepared, both of you. You want to make sure you have your money right, and you want to make sure that you have the emotional capacity to deal with a child, you know, because it does take a certain degree of patience. And when you're young or when you're inexperienced, you know, maybe you haven't had the time building up that patience. Me personally, I am one of 7, right in the middle. So I have older siblings and younger siblings. So I've kind of seen what it's like on both sides of that coin to, you know, to want to build that emotional connection with somebody, and then also, you know, looking after those that are smaller than you and making sure they get the right guidance and, you know, are able to follow by your example. Also, if I'm handsomer than Duke Dennis, subscribe. The next thing that I say that we could, you know, take and learn from this is to reflect on it. Reflect on where this nigga went wrong. Because you see niggas like Blueface and the kind of girls they get, and you would expect that to be the more, you know, baby mama-esque situation, not to be stereotypical or anything, you know, just going by the, you know, by the vibes off of it, you know, because, you know, niggas like Blueface, like any kind of rapper really, you know, rack up a ton of baby mamas, like, hell nah, I mean, besides certain ones. But anyway, you would expect, you know, someone that Blueface, like, okay, Krishan, for example, the baby mama situation between Krishan and Blueface and the baby mama situation between, you know, Halle and DDG, you would think they'd be completely different, right? Like, you would think those 2 relationships would yield a separate result, but no, they both lead to the same conclusion. Baby mama drama, bro. What is that? What is the cause of that? What could it be? Some would say that this is just proof that all women are the same, and whether you get stuck in the situation really comes down to luck. Whatever that missing tell is for, you know, this baby mama epidemic, we clearly haven't, you know, picked up on that yet. Because as you can see, you can get a different type of woman, 2 drastically different, you know, types of black women. And no disrespect to Krishan, but also not to give like all the praise to Halle. You can take them, and you can take 2 niggas who are like kind of similar, and the result will still be the same. So does this fall on the niggas? I don't think so. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. I just don't think so. But yeah, we can definitely use this situation to learn and reflect. Study it, see if you can figure out where they went wrong. Assess the way you act in relationships as well. So that bullet point. Yeah, that is 6 things. And yes, that's 6 things that we can learn from this Halle and DDG situation. Thank you. Like, subscribe. Peace.